Hi guys, this is just a quick video detailing how you can change the lights behind your instrument panel on a MX-5. Now I drive a Mark II MX-5. The process is exactly the same for an NA, a Mark I. I've done it myself. First of all, you're going to want to take out 3 screws on the bottom of your sort of this shroud here. I've gone ahead and taken them out already, but for reference, there's one just to the right at the front, to the left at the front, and towards the centre a little bit more, but it's more left towards the back. If you go ahead and take those out, and then this shroud just pops off either side, what it should do, there we go. So release that. So usually, if you have a stock steering wheel, you will have this clock spring. This is what helps the cables if you have an airbag and your horn set up. I'm in the process of currently fixing my horn for an MOT that's coming up, so we're not going to deal with any of the horn details. But for reference, you won't need to take any of this off. This will just mount here, but behind the steering wheel, a couple of screw holes, but you can leave that in, that's no problem. Okay guys, once you've taken the shroud off that surrounds the indicator and wiper stalk assembly, you're going to want to take a flat-headed screwdriver, piece of tissue or microfiber, something soft so you don't damage any trim, and you're going to want to just put the tissue here, squeeze the flathead in and pop that forward. You will hear some clips release. This is to remove this shroud around the instruments. Same on the other side, so you hear a little click. Once you've unclipped the bottom, if you just sort of reach in from below here and just give it a decent tug, it will pop off. You can damage clips this way. There's sort of a clip here, this main clip here, and this clip here. These down here you've already released from the screwdriver before. So this looks good, there's no cracks, no damage. Okay, so the next step is to remove the actual cluster itself. There's a Phillips here, a Phillips here. You can also see just on the camera there's a Phillips here, and there's one just the other side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those now. That's one. Remember to keep your screws in a safe place. That's number 2. You might need to fiddle with the stalks on this part just so you can get a good angle, otherwise you'll be going in a bit sideways, or you may have a shorter screwdriver or something like that. And then the bottom left one. So this next step can differ between a Mark I and a Mark II. Not majorly, there's still some plugs back here. There's 1, 2, 3 on my model at least, but an NA does have down this side speedo cable. If I remember correctly, it does just pull out. There might be a clip on there, there might not be, so just take care with that one. So just unclip these clips here, 1, 2, 3, and that releases the instrument cluster from the car itself. So next step, with your instrument cluster in hand, if you swap it over, there's going to be a lot of positions for LEDs. The main 4 that light the backlight is this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. So that will light sort of this region, this region, this region, and this region, giving it a nice glow all over. So if you flip it back over, this one here also controls, on a NB at least, the colour of the odometer here. I've got mine, it's a little T5, and it's a little T5 LED here, just the white one. So I can go ahead and just put that one back in. So what you're going to want to do is take out these 4 big bulb holders, I guess you can call them. I actually have LEDs in there already, but they're not very high quality LEDs. As you can see, they're just sort of some cheap eBay job. These are polarity sensitive, meaning if you put them back in, connect them, reconnect it back to the car, and they don't light up, that's not a problem. Remove them again, to take them out, switch them around 180 degrees, just out like this, 180, back in, and that should solve your problems once you put it back in the cluster and put it back into the car. So I'm going to go ahead now and just switch the LEDs around. So the bulbs that I'm replacing are with these sort of silicon little LEDs here, if the camera will focus. Come on. So these are also from eBay. Just a couple of T10 silicon bulbs, but I've never had an issue with these. The issue with my current bulbs is they're flickering and they're dimming, which obviously we don't want for the speedometer. These are red, so it's got a nice red sort of coating inside, which gives it that nice red colour. So you want to go ahead, put them in like that, screw them back into the cluster. Repeat that for the other three. So now you have all the bulbs changed within the cluster. You're just going to want to place it back gently on the dash where it goes, and just reconnect the connectors. It's a bit hard to see from behind, but I'm sure it's okay. So with the cluster reconnected, you're just going to want to turn on your side lights. Now I'm stupidly doing this in the middle of the day. It's like 1 PM right now, so it's not going to be very visible. But if you turn your side lights on and sort of just create some shadow and just check to see if they're working, it's a lot easier to notice the colours within the actual needles on the dials rather than the actual numbers. I think actually none of mine are working. Now that's probably due to the reverse polarity problem. So what you're going to want to do if none of yours are working, or if one or two or any of yours aren't working, you're going to want to just unplug everything, remove the instrument cluster again, remove the bulbs, and do that take the bulb out, turn it 180 and put it back in the holder. So now I've checked that all my LEDs are working. You're going to want to line it up with the screw holes and just repeat the steps you've taken to remove everything. The shroud around the instrument panel itself, this big piece of plastic, the cowl I guess you can call it, just line it up with the clip holes and it should just push back on.